All right. Big waves to everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Happy Tuesday. And I want to start off, do a little housekeeping, but I don't want to take up much time because today we have a special guest. And James, thanks for being here. And so many of you know James and from New Age and being a part of actually just speaking recently on a call with Andrea Rosser and myself, and we, you know, you learn to find leaders in the industry that you highly respect. You respect their knowledge, you respect the way they train, you respect their heart and their servant-driven attitude. I mean, I was just recently on the phone just a few minutes ago with Miss Tammy Motby and Erica and um, I feel the same way about those two and just their passion and their heart for people and being able to see the staircase, even though the staircase is not fully built, is something leadership has to do, and that's something they're doing currently in Africa, building the staircase out in Africa, and what a challenge it can be to do that, and takes leadership quality to be able to fulfill that and see that through, and so many other people. I'm not limiting people to this conversation, but I was on the phone recently with Ashley Paulson, just talking about how many of you's watched her progression throughout the year this year from last year's GoPro. I mean, things she's doing on social media, the impact, the value. And I look across, Tracy Turnberg's on here, and Tracy, I'm just looking at some names. So it's the only reason. So if I don't say your name, it's not because I just see Tracy. And, 2 years ago, I didn't know this gentleman. Today, I know his heart for helping people and his passion. And he's an amazing leader in this industry for years. Like, he's got way more knowledge than I do of the industry and the years that he's put in, over 20 years, over 20 years of service in the industry. So he's treated it like a profession. And that's one of the things that attracts me, James, to you, is that you are so professional. You treat this as a job, and I'm going to talk about that before I introduce you. So let me go ahead and set kind of the housekeeping of this. We started this mastermind a year ago now, before the GoPro last year. And it was really just we worked on promoting and building for events. Do you know promoters are the biggest paid people in our industry? If you learn how to promote, then you're going to build a massive army. Promoters always look at, we talked about promoters versus boxers in the boxing industry. Don King made way more money than Mike Tyson because he had the knack for promoting. And it's the same way in our industry. If you promote well, you're going to build a massive army. And so we talked about that, and we started that progression, and we've just done, bi-weeklies pretty much from then until now. One of the things we're going to tradition is we got about one more meeting to fulfill here. And then we're going to change it up for 2022. We're going to change up the mastermind, and we'll be kind of getting out the logistics for the mastermind. But at the end of the day, what do we want for the mastermind? We just want people that want to treat this as a profession. Because when I look across here, I take somebody like Tracy Turnberg. See, I've gotten to know Tracy, and what you realize is Tracy's never had really, I don't mean to belittle his work ethic, because he's had a lot of jobs growing up as a kid and things, but he has been in this industry pretty much his whole adult career. And so many people are questioning or wondering if this can be a career path for them, if this is truly a profession, and it 1,000% is. It 1,000% is. And my number one goal in the mastermind was, hopefully within a time of being in here, you go, man, this can be a profession. I'm just getting started now, but this can be a profession for me if I go pro, if I treat it like a profession. And it absolutely can. Do you have to fight greed? Do you have to fight ego? Do you have to fight, is it worth it? Mentally, should I just go back to doing what I was doing because I don't feel like I'm getting paid for the value I'm putting in? You have to fight all that to grow this profession. But let me tell you, it's worth it in spades. The person you become, the people you attract, the ability to give back. I think we're not a perfect profession by no means, but it's just better than most professions because of the impact you can make. And I say this a lot before I bring James on, is this industry really is about, most people get into it selfishly. Let's talk money right now. Let's don't talk health. Because we got people in this mastermind from all different companies. But you get into this industry and you want the income. But what does the income, think about it like a triangle. What does the income really do? The income produces a better lifestyle, whatever that is to you. You know, when I think of lifestyle, I personally don't think of cars. I don't think of the Rolex watches. It's okay if somebody does. But what I think about lifestyle is I set my day on my own terms. If I want to attend a movie in the afternoon when most people can't, I can. If I want to go on a vacation when most people can't, I can. When I want to go to things that is in the off peak of the season because no one else can, I can. But I also am creating a financial stability for my kids' kids, something that lives on past me. There's very few industries that will pay you after you've stopped performing a service or duty, right? It's like when you're through, they're through paying. This industry is an industry that if you build it and you put in the time, you put in the effort, you go pro, does not discriminate against your race, your background, your where, what you graduated from, who your parents are, none of that. Your age. It's just, if you want to go get it, but it can continue paying you after you've fulfilled your obligations. And that's powerful. So I'm proud of this industry. I'm proud of network marketing. I shout that I am in network marketing. I don't care where I'm at, who I'm with. I'm proud of it. I might have to explain it to you. I might have to educate you on what I do. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of what I'm in. And so that's why I'm attracted to James. James, and he and his beautiful wife, Becky, they're proud of what they're involved with. So James, thanks for being here today. And here, I want you to, first of all, to kind of share with everybody a little bit, if anything has spurred you on with just me talking, if you want to add to that a little bit. But then I want to go into keeping the main thing the main thing. Like, and you talked about it last Sunday night, but we got to gear up for 2022.
Yeah.
Like, you're not on this mastermind because you're just wanting to sit around and be average in 2022. So what we do right now in November and December is a setup for the new year. Like, I look at it 90 days before 2022, I am setting up, I'm planting the seeds, as Jim Rohn talked about. Like, I'm getting ready for the harvest of 2022. So what James is going to share with you today, that he shared with us on our call, but I'm like, I got to bring it back and challenge everybody with, is what to do between now and then to set up your 2022. And if you'll be willing to take a 24-hour challenge, the skills you could gain from that, and that then you implement on a daily activity between now and the end of the year, can set you up on a massive 2022. So James, anything you want to jump on top of with me on the things that I shared, and then let's move into your strategy that I love so much.
I'm just so pumped, Brett. And first of all, I just want to thank you for this honor to be here and everyone that's on here today. I mean, we're amongst greatness that's on this call, and it truly is a mastermind. And I think the biggest thing first that I would say is, because honestly, in my first initial reaction when I'm on a call like this is I look at a Brent and I hear a Tracy and I hear all these different names. I'm like, if you guys don't know, sometimes a prophet is never preaching their own land. Um, these are people that are leaders of leaders. These are industry legends, not just within this company, but within the profession as itself. For those of you that may not know, Brent Palmer, who many of you know and dearly as coach, just achieved the top honor and rank in this company. And it's just incredible to be here, to be invited, and to be able to share. And with that note as well, too, I think it's also important that all of us have a healthy self-worth and ego with things as well, too. Because at first, my human self comes in, I'm like, man, I'm not worthy, to be honest, you know? But then this is what I feel as well, too, is each and every single one of us has been endowed with God-gifted talents and traits and opportunities, and everyone here is on an equal playing field, especially in this profession. So I know one of the big things, especially entering the industry, is if we're looking at this as a professional, is when you look at this screen and you look at the people that are ever talking, it's going to be you one day, or maybe it's them or whatever. Let's glean from each other. Let's take the strengths from every single person.
I'll
It's not that
turn it off in a
one,
minute. I'm using it, but I'll turn it off.
oh, it's not one or another is better. It's that we are all on the same playing field, but it's knowing how to learn and knowing how to lead at the right place in the right time. So it's an honor today to be here with you guys. For those of you who don't know me, quick little background, talking about professionalism, Brent. The number one thing, and I'd like to ask for a lot of feedback in the chats as well too, because I like to feel like when we're talking, we're like, I grew up in a belly to belly type of industry. I grew up in house meetings. I grew up in Starbucks. I grew up in these types of meetings. Type a one in the chat if you were that type of person. That was your experience in the industry. You did the in-homes, you did the parties, you did the hotel meetings, I used to do them in classrooms. I've seen meetings in parking lots, right? Like there's just something about that. And I love online, and we're going to talk about within a framework today and how to be online as well too. However, I think regardless of technology, this industry, this profession, the amazing part of it is it's belly to belly. It's all of us together. So I'd ask you today, as much as you can, and know some of us are driving, we're all different places, to play full out in the chat room as if we were in a room together. I don't know if you guys did this back in the day, but I remember being in house meetings and we tap on people's shoulders when a good point was made. We'd be taking good notes, right? We turn around behind us, but hey, did you get that right? And I want us to imagine the chat room is like that. So when you look around here, look at everyone here like they're in the same room together. And why do I bring that up? Because if you view it that way, it's not knowledge is power, as you've probably heard. It's applied knowledge is power. And if you take notes like that, as if you're in the room, you're a top money earner, you're going to be a speaker on this call. I hope that's one of your goals. I'm going to make such an impact that I'm going to be invited to be on a call like this. And the way to do that is to take notes for application. Okay. So if you're down and I can get that commitment from you to play as full out as you can in today's session, I want to make sure this makes an impact. Drop a 10 in the chat. Drop a 10 in the chat. I just want to make sure that these are flying in. You guys are ready, and it helps us as well too. Man, I just feel the energy that's going on. All right. So I see a couple. All right, they're coming. They're coming. We're going to get warmed up to this and everything, you know. Energy is caught, not taught. And if you want to play big, if you want a big 2022, just like what Coach Palmer just said, it comes down right now. The energy that we're bringing in towards the end of this year. Okay. So quick little thing on professionalism. When I got started, I was 19 years old. I guess similar to Tracy, this is the only work I've pretty much known my entire life. I was supposed to be the Asian dream. If you guys know what the Asian dream is, you can be anything you want to be, as long as the doctor, lawyer, or engineer, or else you're a failure in life. So I picked the doctor. I was going to UC Berkeley. I was studying biology. I was not like this at all. I guess the only thing that was the same is I had spiky hair back then, but that's pretty much it. I was shy. I was nerdy. I was unconfident. I had no work experience. The only thing that I could do, the only skill was memorize and put it on a piece of paper. And I realized that if you wanted to succeed in life, you probably had to know how to like you communicate and connect with others. That's what brought me into this industry. And I'm curious if anyone had felt this way, but I remember when I first saw network marketing, my first reaction, to be honest, was this is the biggest obvious scam in the world. To be quite honest with you guys, all right? I'm telling you, now I've seen tens of thousands of people throughout these past decade. I would say still to this day, Brent, I am the most skeptical guest you've ever seen. I was so skeptical to the point I feel ashamed to say this, but I was brought to a meeting and I'm like, I for sure am not going to join. But if I'm going to be here, might as well be here. And they had some product samples that day. It was an energy drink. And I'm like, I'm 19, right? I'm in a fraternity. I'm in that party scene. And so I'm like, let me just grab some free stuff. I'm a broke college student, right? And I'm like, I need to think about it, right? Maybe you've gotten that before. I need to think about it. But I think it'd help if I get some product samples. Can I get a couple of those cans? And they weren't cheap drinks. That was probably like $20 of cans. And I said, I'm never going to see this in my life again. You know, who here was kind of skeptical when you first saw this? Drop a 1 if you were a little skeptical when you first saw this, you know? And you know why I thought I was why I was skeptical was it's not that I didn't believe that it worked. It's not that I didn't believe that you know, people were making money here and stuff like that. You know what it was? And to touch on what Coach said, is I thought network marketing was unprofessional. I thought it wasn't a glorious profession. I thought it was subpar. I thought it was a second-class business, to be quite honest. I thought I was too good for this. Now, obviously, that's not the case at all. I agree. It's the most wonderful profession in the world. But I say this because I think some of us might actually still hold that in your heart as well, too. You're not screaming from the rooftops like what Brent said about being in the best profession. It's still like we're kind of a ninja, you know. It's like, oh, I'm in one of the, I'm in that thing. If they ask you, you kind of, what do you do? You're like, I do online business, or I'm in health, or I'm in services, whatever, you know. But the big commitment I made when I realized the value of the profession was this, and it was an affirmation, was if we're going to do this, let's do this professionally, morally, and ethically. Because what makes something a professional, what makes someone a professional is not what the work is, it is the way that one does the work within that field. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm sure we've all met people that were maybe in a restaurant, right? And you've had professional waiters and unprofessional waiters. It's the same industry, but it's a different way of looking at things. So what's important is this is, since day one, I was 19 years old. I had no idea what I was even going to get myself into, but I said, if I'm going to do it, then do it right. So I hope that's how we come into today's world too. And that's what's brought us to what we're doing. So one thing is this on professionalism. If you're committed to being a professional here, type PRO, pro, in the chat. Type pro in the chat. That one self-image, if you just change that right now, you're going to hold yourself to a different type of vibration. You're going to hold yourself to a different type of standard. You're going to represent our profession more. You're going to be able to elevate the standards of what we got going on. And I think it's so important that we all do that. Okay. So going professional, one thing I think about when it comes to going professional is that professionals do something every day, right? They do something every day. If you're a professional at work, you go to work pretty much every day and you do the same things every single day. So when I start to think as a professional networker, a professional in MLM, then are we doing certain things a certain way every day? The biggest differentiator of the professional that earns like a professional and the one that doesn't is inconsistent actions on a daily basis. Inconsistent actions. Okay. So I boiled this down, and success leaves clues. This is just from everyone. Everyone does. I'm a systems person. Maybe it's my logical nerdy side of me. And I thought to myself, what are things that the successful people are doing now, because our industry has made some evolutions and changes. Maybe some of you in the last 2 years, because of COVID, because of technology, because of changes, have been, it almost felt like the rug was pulled off under us. If we could be a little bit real, who here got a little flustered by the last 2 years? If we could be honest with each other, drop a 2 in the chat. Of the last 2 years, it's been a little bit of an identity crisis. I bet for some of us, especially when it comes to social media, that's like a scary topic, right? It's like, what is this thing? But when there's a lot of changes there, it means that there's a lot of potential for growth as well too. Okay. So what happened is the last couple of years have been a big reformation period for me as well too. And I'm going to get into the DMOs and everything for sure, but I think it's so important because we're all on the same page. This is the best time in the world to do what we do, because the whole world just went through a shift. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I went through a year of depression. Our business was at 6 figures plus a year. We dropped by 50%. We got into 6 figures of debt, lost hope, lost everything, sold everything, almost gave up on the profession. But thankfully, I went to a GoPro event, which I know we're about to go to as well too. And I saw what was possible again. And this last year has been a big, interesting process to put everything back together. And what we came up with was, we said, you know what? We're going to do this bigger and better. And we're going to do it in a way where anybody can do this. The vision is this: a business where anyone at any time can work from anywhere and really succeed here. And what we came up with this last year, and when I say we, it's us, the team, my wife, like all these different things, we put together a very simple framework that we did that worked. It is something that helped us reproduce a business that originally took us 6 years to build, and we did it within a year of the time. We helped many of our partners achieve the top 1% in this company and so much more. And what I want to give to you today is not just a year of putting this system together, but it's a lot of blood, it's a lot of sweat, it's a lot of tears, it's a lot of those times of pulling out your hair and everything. And the way that we came about it was, what are people doing on a daily basis that makes them a professional? Okay. So with that said, I'm going to give you today 5 daily methods of operation, 5 habits that professionals in our profession do on a daily basis. Okay. If you do these 5 things as much as you can every day, and you teach these 5 things, I'm going to tell you this: your business is going to scale. You're going to start to see growth. You're going to start to view yourself and see yourself, and others will as well too, as you being a professional. Okay. So there will be 5, very, very simple. Right before that, one quick thing I have to say as well too, is these 5 DMOs that we're going to share with you won't matter at all if you don't know what you want. It doesn't matter. We just got off a call right before this, Coach Palmer, and I'm a student. That's how I look at myself. I'm learning all the time from all the greats out there. Nothing that we talk about is new. We just recycle it, right, in our own way. But I like simplifying. I like distilling things. And right before this, we are getting coached by Bob Proctor, the guy in The Secret and things like that. And one thing he said was this: is 95% is mindset, 5% is skill set. 95% is mindset, 5% is skill set. Now, I'm willing to bet, we're in a mastermind group, I will share some things in the skill set where probably it's not going to be new information for you. Like, it's going to be like, I know that. But there's a difference of knowing and there's a difference of doing. And it's the doing that produces the results. And the way that we can start to do is, and this is my first challenge to this group, okay? And this really stretched my mind, is set a huge goal in your business. Something so big that you have no idea how to even accomplish it. Okay? Set a huge goal, major, in the next 90 days. Okay? As we went from depression to climbing back up, you know, the weirdest thing that I realized was this: is the hardest goal to hit is a small goal. Have you ever felt that way before? Drop a 5 in the chat if you've enrolled at least one partner, one customer in your career. You know, drop a 5 if you've at least gotten a customer or partner at some point in time, right? I think we all have. Isn't it kind of weird? Have you ever done a challenge? You're like, I just need to get one. And it's almost so hard. You know, it's like, I should be able to do this, but it's like, why am I not able to do this? It's a hard goal, even though it's seemingly simple, right? You're like, I just do the work and I should be able to get it, but you're like scratching your head, and it almost hurts your self-confidence, right? Then you see a newbie. Have you ever seen the new people come on board and they're just like, they don't know what's going on. They're signing people up left and right. You're like, what's wrong with me? And it's because of the mindset. It's because of the goal. And as we entered back into the profession, I realized the biggest mistake that I made first was I was thinking way too small. I was thinking way too small. Bob Proctor calls this a letter C type goal. A C type goal is something that you have no idea of how to achieve, but you want it. You want it. I was used to setting B type goals, which I bet some of us here do too. A B type goal is something where you're like, well, if I did this in the past, like maybe I made $1,000 in that month or that week. And then I'll set a goal to maybe go 20% more, right? Like I'm used to setting that type of a goal. I think that's kind of how we're trained. There's nothing inspiring about that type of a goal, okay? And Brendan, anytime if you want to jump in, so I'm just like right off, but C-type goal is so important. A C-type goal is something you just want. You have no idea how to do. You have no idea how to do. I think the biggest things that we can do to elevate our profession is for all of us to dream bigger, faster. Just to dream bigger, faster. So this last year for us, we wanted to recreate our business that took 6 years and do it in record time. And we did that. We were just flowing with it. This next year, and I'm gonna say this to you because, you know, the way that I train is I just train what I do. That's all I can do, right? I want to lead from the front. I want to do and be with everyone here. Is to have a goal. And I need to find where my card went. I literally have it written down, but it's somewhere here. And on my card, it says this: my goal is through our network marketing business in the next 90 days to be able to make $100,000 in 1 month. Now, to put that in perspective, full transparency, our bet, and we got a lot of people here making tons of money, you know, so I want to take notes on them. But we were able to bring our income back up to the 6-figure level. So to go 100,000 a month, we want to turn an annual income into a monthly income. And to be quite honest, how about you? I was at first a little scared about that idea because that just sounds outrageous, doesn't it? It's like, how is that even going to happen? Especially for us that have been involved in our profession for over a couple of years. We can get so set in how we think our business is supposed to pay. Does that make sense? I was used to the business paying X amount, so I'm like, well, maybe I could just do a little bit more. But
so you had the power, James, to over 10x your mindset, basically. I mean, you
Yep.
to look and go, I want to do that in 1 month. I mean, it's powerful, the fact that you took your mindset to the expansion of that.
It's the key. It is so big, because if we want to do our profession right, we got to show people the way. We got to show people what this is, what's capable here. Stop dreaming. I was just so tired of dreaming so small, because it's like, why? So pick something that you want, whatever that it is, and set it at around 90 days. All right. For me, it's March 18th, which is my birthday. So I just set it around there. It's like 90-ish days from now. And just put it down. You're not going to believe it. So I want to ask, before I go into the 5 DMOs, is who here right now, drop a C, the letter C in the chat. If you have a C type goal in your mind right now, what you want to achieve in your business, something so outrageous, you know, I love it. Something I'm seeing people open up countries, continents on this line, right? There's some goals that you know that you want, and just start to actually put that down. So one thing that I just got from Bob is just write it down every day. You hear this in Napoleon Hill, you hear this in Think and Grow Rich. Write down the goal, as outrageous as it is, one major, huge goal. And my next assignment for you would be share that with some of your accountability partners. Share that with your coach, your mentors. Share that with people that want to help you. And just keep on thinking about that. All right. Because from that goal, then the DMOs will be activated. From that goal, then the DMOs will be activated. Okay. So then let me go through these 5 real quick. Very simple. What does a professional do in our in our industry? Very easy. Number 1, very simple. You use and learn more about your products or services every day. You use and learn more about your products and services every single day. It becomes a part of your life. I'm sure if you looked at Coach Palmer, I'm sure he's got products all over the place. I mean, if you were just account coach in the last day, how many of your company's products have you used, do you think?
No, you're so right. I mean, I have basically a closet or a pantry that houses all the products, and one of the things is all the vitamins, optimal. I mean, everything, but also I've transitioned into skincare, right? Because James, this industry's challenged me. I've challenged my limits on the fact that one thing's for sure, we only have one body we've been given at birth. So what's the price tag to having a healthy body, inward and outward, you know? And so for so much of my life, I'm like, I don't need skincare. I mean, skincare, come on, that's for females. And it's like, how shallow am I thinking? And so this industry has really challenged my limits on, again, my body's a temple. What is there really a price tag I'm going to put on good nutrition and things that I put on the outside of my body, which absorbs everything in the world? Like, come on now, we got to think bigger and be smarter. And so the answer is yes. I try to consume it all. So when somebody says superfood, there's not enough superfood for me to take. For our company, I'm going to drink the noni. I'm going to drink the moa. I'm going to drink Limu 5X. Why? Because it's all different and sourced different. And again, I'm so going back, James, absolutely 100%. I love this is your number 1 on your DMO.
It's what we do. In business, we bring the product to the end consumer. So if we want to do it better, use them, learn about them, and get good as well too in this step in collecting and building stories if you're taking down notes. As you already know, it's that cliche of facts tell, stories sell. But I love what Coach Palmer said right there. See, that's a leader right there. He's not resting on it. This guy just hit the top. I mean, he just hit the top rank in the entire company. And you know what he just said? I'm building my next transformation story. That's what he just said to me. So that challenges me because I'm like, I should probably use their skincare even more as well too, you know? So I know I got Asian skin, so very blessed. So, but no, build your next story. So I ask everyone here today, maybe you have old stories personally and collect other people's stories as well too, but I also challenge you to build the next story. Now, New Year's is coming around, holidays are coming around. What better time than right now to develop the next transformation story? Pick something that you're interested in, dive deeper into it, maybe one up what you did before, whatever that is. You know, so constantly be using and learning about the products and get good at building up this arsenal of stories. And it starts with ourselves. That's how I feel about that. So number one is that. Number two, and this is probably the biggest change, especially in the last couple of years for many of us, it needs to be a part of the DMO, which is post on social media. Post on social media. My goodness. And I'll be honest, this one, I bet probably gets the most fear right now. And me too. I'm not a social, I'm an introvert. I don't like putting my business out there. I wasn't good at the Instagram stories, confused the heck out of me. When I saw people making their posts and it's got all these cool emojis and stuff like that, I'm like, how do you do that? I could barely take a good photo. You know, like I'd have my finger in the camera. Have you ever done that before? You cut off your face or someone else's, right? So just know, like, it's normal, but it's so important now. Brett, did you have something you want to chime in on?
No, you just made me think, like, so for everybody, I'm thinking back to 2013, like I'm a principal of a high school. So it's like at that point in my life, like maybe it was 2011, did not have a Facebook, never heard of Instagram, I don't think at that point. And so I remember I remember the selfies. I'm like, does grown men really take selfies? Like, is that even normal? And you know, I can remember all, and one of my mentors told me that built a massive business in this industry, like was one of the top income earners of a massive company that's still around today. And he said, when you stay uncomfortable long enough, it just becomes normal. And he said, you're dealing with social media now, but I dealt with something else back then. Mm. And he would talk about what he dealt with. He said, to go to the top of a profession, you are going to have to be uncomfortable. And so social media for me was one of those things, James, and I want to share a tip. And then I'll turn it back. I was actually talking to Tracy Turnberg about this morning. I'm someone that really, truly, I'm shy. I don't, maybe from my upbringing, I don't like accept congratulations really well. I'm kind of awkward with it. Like I don't, you know, I've had some people in my life that when they congratulated you, you better hide under a table because something else might be coming. And so maybe it's like it's messed me up a little bit. And social media was that for me, to put my face out there on a post. Like, who am I? Who do I think I am? That's kind of the way I thought about it. But I knew where the eyeballs were in the world today. They're not on TV today. They're on their cell phone. Just look in the office environment at your people, your peers, when they get an extra 10 minutes, where do they go to? That's our audience, ladies and gentlemen. And so I told Tracy today, I'm like, how do I do this? And I'm not saying you have to do this, but I got people to help me that cared about me, that was like, that does not care. So I would see a post that would come up and I'm like, they will post things that I would not post of myself. Does that make sense? Because they don't care. It's kind of like bringing in a third party person to prospect for you or to help close a 3-way call. Like I see pictures of me on social media right now and it just makes me cringe because I'm like, I would have never posted that. But again, this is a game of teams, teamwork. Someone that is better than you at what you do or that can help aid you along in the area you need to be. Think outside of the box to grow your brand. And if you have something that limits you, then bring somebody in that has a strong, to your weakness, they have a strength. Does that make sense? And it does not always have to be about tying that to money. Maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your son or your daughter that has the strength and does not care that you're sitting in they're going to post a picture of you swinging on a swing and you would never post that. So think outside of the box of how you can grow your brand on social if you're kind of that to me. So I was just a little bit vulnerable, but that's something that really helped me.
It's a huge tip. Get a mentor. Get someone. I had a social media mentor, and every one of my first posts for a long time sucked. Right? But you get good through the suck, as everything, right? You do the uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. But the value is so powerful with social media, because instead of the old days where you have to go on a phone call, go to a Starbucks, one-on-one conversation, stuff like that, now you post something, you have 50 people that know what's going on. You have 100 people that knows what's going on. And this is what I'd recommend for to make it really, really simple. Okay, Facebook, Instagram. I know now there's TikTok, which is an interesting platform, but daily post something. So what do you want to post? And there's two general places that I post. One is called your feed. Your feed is like on your Facebook. It's your main what's on your mind. You post something there, or on Instagram. The second is your stories. Your feed and your stories. Post them both every day. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Your feed, what do you post? Your feed, think about it this way. This is the mindset. If someone reads my post, are they getting any value? If someone reads my post, are they getting any value? So an uplifting message. Maybe it's something funny. Maybe it's a nice photo of you and your family. Maybe it's whatever that it is. Not too much on product, not even too much on business, very little, but give value. Okay? So on your feed, do that. Number two, your stories, that's where you can post anything that you want. So your feed, just value. Your stories, if you don't know what a story is, it's something that goes away in 24 hours. Google anything social media, your best social media mentor is YouTube. All right. If you want social media tips, just go on YouTube. How do I make a story? They'll teach you how to do this. Okay. But a story, the powerful part of it is they disappear in 24 hours. And you know what I like about stories is this. Have you guys ever heard of the saying there's likers and lurkers? There's likers and lurkers. That's how I am. Let's be a little vulnerable here. Who here is the type of person that sometimes you like look at a lot of people's posts, but you don't really like them a lot? You know what I'm talking about? Like it's kind of me, right? I'm just like, I don't want them to know. I'm just like scrolling through this right now. But you'd be surprised how many people are actually watching you all the time. Have you ever talked to someone before? They're like, man, I saw that photo the other day. You're looking good. Or man, your granddaughter's looking amazing. You're like, how do you know these things? They're watching, they're lurking, they're not liking. You know what I like about stories? This is a big tip if you want more prospects. When you go on a story, you can actually check who is viewing your story. They can't run away. They don't have to like it. Okay? So on your stories, post whatever that you want. You can post about your product. You can post about your business. You can post about whatever. But the best thing on stories is just post throughout your day. As if you had a conversation. Let's say you called me up and I'm like, Susan, what'd you do today? And Susan's like, well, I got up at this time, made myself a nice cup of, Susan looks like a tea type of person. Susan Hayes. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't know if you're a coffee or tea person, you know. She's like, I made a nice cup of tea. I can see her lounging and just chilling right there, reading a magazine. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, like tell what you would tell someone in the course of a day that happens. That maybe what I might do is I would take a photo of this. I'm like, man, I had a great mastermind today. You know, I see Bill on he's on his a stair stepper elliptical hardcore there, you know. He should take a photo and actually do a little video, be like, this is me at work. You know, like these are little things. Start to think, how do I share my day? And you know what this does is it helps your people know, like, and trust you more. And as they know, like, and trust you more, what I've noticed is those that are consistent on social media versus those that aren't, when you actually go do the pipeline, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, there's a lot more receptivity because they know you. They've seen your photos. They see your face. They know what's going on. They feel like they're part of your life. So just kind of start putting yourself out there. Don't make it too complicated. Start with consistency. Okay. So if you're a cycle, there we go. If you're open to being more consistent on social, type a 2 in the chat. Like that's a commitment. That's like all right, I'm going to start doing this. That might just be your one thing today. I'm going to post a photo for the first time in a long, long time. It's all good. Okay. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. Okay. Number 1 is use and learn about the products or services. Number 2 is post on social media. Number 3, personal development. Personal development. We've probably all heard this old adage in our profession that network marketing is simply a compensation wrapped around personal development. And leaders are learners. That's just how it is. Every day, what are you studying on? What audios, what podcasts, what books? What are you focused on right now? Okay. My number 1 recommendation for anyone is I think we should bring it back to who here's listened to Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business. Type a 1 in the chat. If you, right, like that's like the one, right? I'm refreshing myself on Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business. I think it's the best entry-level personal development for any network marketer on the planet. It's just so good. Jim Rohn's been gone for 20 plus years. It's still so good, right? Profits are better than wages, right? The magic of part-time, all these philosophies, it works. So whatever that it is, start to grow that consistently on a daily basis, right? Because your income's never going to outgrow your own self-image. So you have to grow that constantly. All right, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, good stuff. Okay, number 4 is attend and grow events. Attend and grow events. And I've tried this, guys. I've in the last couple of years, I've tried out all these different renditions and stuff like that. I tried a business without much emphasis on events. And it's so hard. It's so hard. If you want to scale, it's so hard. Events are still magical, you know? And I love this stat. If you have a monetary goal, of every 1 person at a big event, whether it's a big company conference, I know there's GoPro coming up in a couple of weeks. For every 1 person at that event is equivalent to $1,000 that year of earnings. So if you want an extra 1,000 a month, bring like 10 people to the event. If you want 6 figures, bring 100 people to that event. I heard, Brent, you brought like a lot of people last year. You rallied the troops for virtual GoPro, and hey, he hit the top rank in the company this year. Is that a coincidence? I think.
Yeah, and James, that you said that, and I want to give you the rest of the time, but one of the things that it just reminded me of was, man, we blew up GoPro last year, and that's just an event, right? But I remember the work that went around it. Like Andrea remembers the work. Like it was non-stop that I was like, are you kidding me? Is this really worth it? And then I look back and I go, you never know those things that propel you to the next position in the company or in the industry or whatnot. But then I look up and what was it, last week or week before last, I'm sitting in Eric Worre's home surrounded by multi-millionaires in the industry going, what if I would have decided not to do that? Would I be at this position in my life? Odds are no. So yeah, events, couldn't agree with you more, James. Yeah, massive for your business.
Oh yeah, success leaves clues. So it's just, and it's so much fun, right? And we all know the value of events. We've all been to many of them, but is it an intentional effort to grow them, right? Is it an intentional effort to grow them as a leader? And it's important to do that. So yeah, virtual GoPro is coming up. We're promoting that. It's the 3rd to the 5th. For me personally, it's the single most life-changing event I've ever been to. And I've been to many, many events. So that's there. And finally is this, number 5. So what we went through is 5 DMOs, daily methods of operation. Number 1, use and learn about the products or services. Number 2, post on social media. Number 3, personal development. Number 4, attend and grow events. And number 5, to just take it straight from the legend Tim Sales himself, daily, do the pipeline. Do the pipeline. If you don't know what the pipeline is, prospecting, inviting, presenting, right, following up, that is our due. That is our business. And you know what? I think this is probably the biggest hole that a lot of us can get into is we can do number 1 through 4 really, really well, can't we? We use the products religiously, like it looks like a product shrine at home. We're posting on social. You're posting your company's events, you're posting the products, you're posting about your family. You are definitely personal developing. You're reading the books, you're in the audios, you're so pumped up. You go to every single event. But if the rubber doesn't hit the road with number 5 and we don't do the pipeline every day, if we can be really, really honest, because that's where I had to get checked. After we went to GoPro, after we made that decision last year to really take it to the next level, I had to think to myself, am I really doing the pipeline? Am I really enrolling people right now? New people? Am I getting new customers? Am I inviting new people? Is it, and I'll just transparently myself, I wasn't that consistent with that. It was kind of like here and there, like if we're in a coffee shop, I'll prospect a little bit. If it comes up, then I'll talk about it. I could train it. I wouldn't do it that big, to be quite honest, I'd go for the company events. I'd go for the promotions, right? If there's a title or whatever, right? A carrot on the stick, I'd run for it. But it wasn't a daily thing, to be honest.
Hey, James,
Yeah.
I just want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I want to give you a vulnerable thing from me. How many of you have said, when this thing's right, I will prospect? I have. Like, if this is right, or if the company will do this, then, I'm going to turn it loose. And it's like, most companies were founded on a few products and a rough, rocky start. But somebody made it their opportunity and they went and shared it to the world. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, James. Like, there's a lot that I could go, man, the stars need to line up better. This needs to be done first. But at the end of the day, I'm ready to say, screw it. Let's go tell the world about what we got that could change their life. And it's this powerful industry. It's
absolutely true. Oh man. Let me end this with a quick framework of a simple invitation. Everyone has a way to invite, but this one invite, I love it because you can talk to anyone about your business, your product, if you follow these 5 simple steps. And then I'll end it with a fun challenge for all of us, all right? So real quick, this is an invitation that you can do regardless of your relationship with them. Some of us, I bet, are scared to invite someone because you're like, it's been 10 years, I haven't talked to them. How do I talk to them? Or maybe you see someone on social media that resonates with you, but you're like, I don't know them well enough. They're going to think I'm salesy. right? Or something like that. I know that I deal with that. So if you do these 5 steps, this is how you can be very consistent every day and just go right through it. So number 1, simple invitation, okay, is you want to diffuse the bomb. You want to diffuse the bomb. Now, what do I mean by that? The number 1 issue that I know that we face is, oh, I feel like this is random. You know, like, how do I bring up a conversation with someone about business or product if I haven't spoken to them in a long, long time? Just address the elephant in the room, right? So I'll be like, hey, Bob, I know this is so random, but I had something really exciting I needed to share with you. Okay, so number 1, diffuse the bomb. You address it, they're like, oh, it's not random anymore. Okay. Number 2, I just swapped this up a little bit from the last time I trained it. I think this flows better. Number 2, I express why I thought about them. Why them? Okay. Because number 1, you address the randomness. So they're like, okay, I could do that. Number 2, they want to think, why are you thinking about them out of everyone? Because right now, I bet most of us, we've talked to our warm market, we've talked to our hot market. They already know kind of what's going on, you know, but we need to kind of outreach more, right? So why them out of anyone? If they're a random person on social media, why'd you think about me? Are you just cold pitching me? So think about a reason why you thought about them specifically. For example, I see them on social. I see that they're very consistent with their posts. They're positive. They're excited. They're bubbly. I'm like, hey, Bob, I know we don't know each other too much, but I just saw you on my social. You're just so enthusiastic. And I wanted to share something with you. Share a truth about them, a positive compliment. That opens up the door. Everyone wants a compliment, a legitimate one. Number 3, edify. Edify. Whether you're talking about company, edify the opportunity a little bit. If you're talking about product, talk about the product a little bit, or what's unique about this. So for example, an opportunity one might be for us, for example, Paul, a little dog here, Coco, is she wants to train with us, you know, but you want to be able to edify, meaning I'll say something like, hey, you know, this is super random. Hold up, let me move this out real quick. I'm so sorry. Gosh, okay. You're gonna train with me. All right. You're gonna train with me.
Is this not great stuff? Like every time I listen to this, I go, what are you doing, Brent? Get out and share this with the world, right? I just, when he talks about simple steps, this is simple. Okay, James, I'll turn it back to you.
I apologize. And I know we're at time. I'm going to run through this really, really quick. I just love you guys so much. And it's like, I want us to win so bad. You know, number 3, edify. Talk a little bit about, number 2 is why them. Yep. Number 3 is edify. So I'll say something like, you know, don't know if you know, I'm a part of this $500 million startup. We just launched something that's going to disrupt Amazon on our side over here, for example. Whatever it is, just a little bit to tease it, to make it legitimate. Okay. This way they know it's worth their time. Number 4 is share why you're excited personally. This personalizes it. Okay. And you know, I'm just so pumped about this because it's the biggest innovation I've ever seen in my entire life. Right? Whatever if it's product, I'm just so excited because I've seen my friends use this and man, their lives have just transformed. Right? Just something personal. Make this not a cold pitch. And number 5 is the invite question, if I would you. If I would you. If I could share you some more information, would you be open to taking a look? If I could link you to a quick video, would you be down to take a look? If I could introduce you to someone, would you be open for a conversation? Whatever it is that you're inviting for, if I would you. Okay. And these 5 simple things, I mean, it takes like a minute. You can type it out, make your own spiel. You know what I love about this is it speeds up the invitation so fast. And I do this every single day. I challenge myself to do, even to this day, 20 new invitations every single day. And it's because this just made it nice and simple. All right. So number 4, you have why you're excited. All right. So Brent, anything on that? I know I want to give out that challenge, of course. Some fun.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. You can roll with the challenge.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Quick challenge. Type a 1 in the chat if you're down for a challenge. Type a 1 in the chat if you're ready for a transformation. You're like, all right, I got it. Let's go. This is going to be fun. I love you guys. You're like, I don't even know what the challenge is. I'm just going to go do it. All right. This is the challenge. 3 levels of it. 24-hour challenge. 24-hour challenge. And if you did it last time and you're challenging yourself again, kudos to you. I'm just proud of you for going for it again. First level challenge. The next 24 hours, 5 new invitations. 5 new invitations. Product or business, whatever that you want. Okay. Second level challenge is 20 new invitations in 24 hours. And the last level is the life-changing one. The last level is the, I just want to crush it right now. I want 2021 to end with a bang. I don't want to wait till 2022. I got my C-type goal in my mind. I'm going to go for it right now. Let's go, whatever it takes. 50 new invitations in the next 24 hours. Obliteration level. I'll share with you a quick story. I challenged my team to this, and I had a teammate, a leader of mine, been around for a long, long time, and does good business. Challenge this same one. This person picked the 51, obliteration level. This person was a little stuck in their business. They was kind of stagnant. They were good, but they weren't like exploding through. Did this and ended up doing 70 new invitations actually within 48 hours. Like went really, really crazy. She did more in that one time period than probably the last month in just a couple of days. And what came from that? She's now the fastest growing person on her team. She enrolled a new partner. Her teammates are duplicating it. There's just new people coming on board right now in the middle of November, brand partners, people ready to do the business. This one thing might be the thing to just get your car out of the mud. All right. So we'd love to hear about it. Brent, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Andrea.
James, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I want to tell everybody, I believe you have to accept the challenge when you're on Masterminds, and you got to announce it to the world. That's what I believe. I believe, like, if you want to go pro, we talked about this last year, if you were a part of it back in November, is like, you got to accept the challenge that James gave out, and then you got to announce it to the world. Like, he wants no kudos. He wants no pats on the back. He wants you to scale your business and go crush it. Leaders learn with the intent to teach. He taught you today. Here's my shout to the world, to you. In the next 24 hours, will do the level 3 50 invites. Brent Palmer. And then I will report it back to you on Team Undeniable, our group, our Facebook group. Andrea, if we could put that link up, or we could share that with everybody where they know where that's at. Can you imagine the noise on a random November, 24 hours of people getting to the end and sharing their results? Notice James didn't talk about you've got to enroll 5 people. Notice he didn't talk about you got to do this. He said 50 invites, and here's how to do it, and go get it out there. Go get it out there to the world. Maybe you go, I'm crazy over the next 24 hours, I can only do 20. I'm crazy over the next 24 hours, I can only do 5. But you got a chance right now to do something. And what we're doing right now is the setup for the 2022. What we're doing right now is the growth. This is why we get on a mastermind. We get on a mastermind to put all the pieces together and then go scale our business. Because if we don't scale our business, it's a waste of oxygen and an hour of your time that we don't take lightly. So as we end today, I promise you, I'm pronouncing it to the world. You in the comments, we'll give you a little time. If you're on for the 24 hours, announce it to the world. Announce, yes, 50, yes, 20, yes, 5, whatever it is. Because I think that's your first call to action. I think you got to accept the challenge, and you got to announce it to the world. I'm in for it. I'm going after it. And 2022 is going to be my most explosive year in the network marketing industry. I believe it. I proclaim it. I'm going to go after it. And we want each and every one of you to do the same. James, your servant-driven leadership is unbelievable, brother. I'm grateful for you, and I'm proud to call you a partner.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you guys. Let's crush it.
Take pictures, if you will, of this right here. Put it out on Instagram story or Facebook story and tag James, myself, Andrew Ross, or others in it.
Bravo.
We'll share it around. Let's let the world know what we're doing here. We're going pro. We're going after this thing big time.
Let's do it.
Love you guys. Grateful for you.
Hi, guys.
Well
Bye.
done. Bravo.
Amazing, James. Thank you,
Let's
brother.
do it.
Andrew
Thanks,
Rosser.
James. Thanks,
Thank
Brent.
you.
Thanks,
Cool.
Andrew.
Very guys, thank you.
Great
Thanks,
job.
everyone.
Absolutely.
Well
This is
done.
awesome. Thank you. I love these
Thanks, guys.
challenges.
Thanks, James.
Love you guys.